You wake up at 6 inches the morning. Your eyes haven't fully opened, and yet the blue glow of your phone screen is already casting its light across your tired face. Your hand reaches for it, a reflex you can't resist. You don't check your work emails. You don't look at the weather forecast. You go straight to the messages or the profile of one specific person, just to see, did they message you? Are they online? Did they post something new that you haven't analyzed yet, down to the very last detail? If there's a message, your heart races, a jolt of electricity shoots down your spine, and suddenly the whole world feels bright. But if there's nothing, an empty hollowness begins to fill your chest. You feel like someone falling through the air with no parachute. You know this isn't normal. You know you should stop. But your mind is like a wild horse. It refuses to listen. You reread old messages from 3 months ago. You analyze every punctuation mark. Why didn't they use an emoji this time? Why did it take them 4 hours to reply when last time it only took 10 minutes? You imagine conversations that have never happened. You build an entire magnificent future with someone you may have never truly understood at all. You call it love. You believe you've found your destiny, but the truth may be far more painful and far stranger than that. What you're experiencing has a scientific name. It's called limerence. In 1979, American psychologist Dorothy Tennov conducted a groundbreaking study on hundreds of people. She discovered that what they described, the obsession, the sleeplessness, the devastation of not being reciprocated, bore no resemblance to the conventional definition of love. She named this state limerence. It is a form of obsessive love, a state in which your mind is kidnapped by a single person to the point where you lose control of your own life. In limerence psychology, you don't love the real person. You love the feeling they create inside you. You love the hope, the uncertainty, and the very tragedy you've written and cast yourself in. To understand why limerence is so powerful, we need to look at the brain. Why do you become addicted to someone who treats you so poorly? Science calls it intermittent reinforcement, unpredictable rewards. It's the exact same principle that makes people addicted to gambling. If you pulled a slot machine and won every single time, you'd get bored quickly. But if sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, sometimes you wait in desperate hope and then suddenly get a tiny reward, your brain releases a massive flood of dopamine. In limerence, when that person is cold and distant and then suddenly texts, "What are you up to?" your brain receives a powerful dopamine hit. You become a genuine addict. The difference between limerence versus love also lies in hormones. Lasting love runs on oxytocin, the hormone of bonding, peace, and trust. Limerence runs on dopamine, the hormone of the chase and craving. You don't want harmony with them. You want to possess the feeling of winning when they finally notice you. How do you recognize this monster called limerence? Take an honest look at these signs of limerence. Sign has hone. You think about them more than you actually know them. You can name the color of their eyes, but you don't know what they fear most or how they'd act when things get hard. You're in love with a painting you drew yourself, not a real person made of flesh and blood. Sign #2. Your mood is their hostage. They reply within 5 minutes and your entire day soars. You feel productive, warm, kind to everyone around you. They seen your message without replying, and you curl inward, dissecting every word you sent, wondering what you said wrong. You snap at your coworkers. You lose faith in yourself. Sign #3. You idealize them to an extreme. You sweep every flaw under the rug. They're rude. You call it personality. They're thoughtless. You say they're just busy with their career. You've turned them into a flawless god. Sign #4. The biggest question in your head isn't, am I truly happy with this person? It's, do they like me? And the most telling sign of all, you know this dynamic is toxic. You know you're exhausted, but you can't stop. That is emotional dependency, and it's a sign that limerence has its hooks deep inside you. So where does limerence actually come from? It rarely starts with the other person. It starts with the empty spaces inside you. If you grew up with an insecure attachment, specifically an anxious attachment style, you've carried a deep-seated fear of abandonment all your life. Maybe as a child you felt you had to be good, smart, or worthy enough before you'd receive love. That's the wound from childhood trauma that never fully healed. So when you meet someone who is sometimes warm and sometimes distant, sometimes attentive, sometimes cold, your brain's alarm system lights up. You mistake that anxiety for love. But what you're actually feeling is your inner child screaming to be chosen, screaming to finally heal a wound from long ago. Sometimes, limerence is even a defense mechanism against real closeness, a fear of real intimacy. It sounds paradoxical, but limerence is actually very safe, because it happens mostly inside your mind. There, you control every scenario. You never have to face the raw reality of an actual relationship, the arguments, the boredom, the ugly habits of another human being. Loving an illusion is far easier than loving a real person, flaws and all. Let's put limerence versus love on a scale. When you truly love someone, you care about what they want to eat when they're sad. You wonder what kind of pressure they're under at work. You want to build something together. When you're trapped in limerence, the only question that matters is, did they think about me today? Did they like my photo? Real love brings peace, safety. Limerence only brings explosive highs and devastating lows. Many people confuse OCD and limerence because of the intrusive thoughts, the unwanted mental images you can't control. You don't want to think about them anymore, but their face keeps surfacing like a ghost. This is a form of mental torment. It is not romance. So, how do you begin the journey of limerence healing? How do you escape this prison? Step 1. Name it. There is enormous psychological power in naming something. Instead of saying, I love them too much, say it out loud or write it in your journal. I am experiencing limerence. When you label it as a psychological state and attachment style being triggered, you separate yourself from it. You are no longer a victim of fate. You are simply someone facing a biological mechanism. Step 2. Change the question. Stop asking, how do I make them love me? Start asking, what do I actually know about this person? Try a small exercise. Write down 3 things they've done that hurt you and 3 ordinary, unremarkable things about them. The goal is to shatter the idealization. Pull them off their throne and place them back in everyday life. Step 3. Redirect your energy and implement no contact. In love addiction recovery, no contact is the ultimate weapon. Don't think of it as punishing them. Think of it as detoxing your brain. Every time you visit their profile, you inject another hit of dopamine into your addiction. Block, mute, or delete. Protect your mental health the way you would protect your own life. There's one more concept I want to give you, one that can shift everything. It's called Sonder. Sonder is one of those rare, unnamed emotions coined by John Koenig in the Dictionary of Obscure Sorrows. It's the moment you realize that every single person passing by you, including the person you've been obsessing over, has a life just as complex, messy, and full of wounds as your own. The person you've been putting on a pedestal, they wake up with bad breath too. They have their own petty fears. They've been rejected too. They have lazy days when they want to do absolutely nothing. They are not the cure for your pain. They are simply an ordinary human being, trying to survive just like you. When you truly see their ordinariness, your limerence will begin to dissolve. If you've been listening to this and felt your heart tighten because it sounds too familiar, hear this clearly. You are not weak. You are not crazy. You are simply a soul that craves love and belonging. You've just been searching for it in the wrong place, the wrong person, and the wrong way. This obsession is actually a distress signal from within. It's reminding you that you've neglected yourself for far too long. You've spent thousands of hours thinking about them, but when was the last time you spent even 1 hour truly listening to what you need? Don't let your life slip by in waiting. Don't be a supporting character in a story you wrote yourself, one where someone else plays the lead. Start investing in the most important relationship you have, the one with yourself. When you are full, you will no longer need those toxic dopamine hits from someone's indifference. True love doesn't make you ask, am I good enough? True love is the answer. Take a deep breath, put down your phone, step outside, and look up at the sky. The world is still turning and you are a beautiful part of it, with or without them. The healing journey may be long. You deserve a love that brings peace, not an endless chase with no finish line. Let go, and let your heart finally come home. If you have watched until this very moment of the video, perhaps your heart is carrying a nameless weight. I want you to know one thing. Falling into limerence does not mean you are weak. It means you possess a capacity for intense love and a soul that yearns for deep connection. It is just that you are bestowing that treasure in the wrong place. Do not despise yourself for those sleepless nights, or for the times you may have compromised your self-esteem just for a nod of their head. These are the costly lessons of growing up. This infatuation is like a forest fire. It can be devastating, but after the storm, the soil becomes more fertile for the sprouts of true love, self-respect, and healthy self-love to take root. Remember, the only person who will walk with you from your first breath to the very last moment of your life is not them, it is you. Therefore, instead of using your energy to analyze a thoughtless text message, use it to build a life that you love. Learn a new skill, travel to a new land, or simply cook yourself a delicious meal. When you begin to shine from within, you will no longer need to chase the light from anyone else. The journey of escaping obsessive thoughts about someone is not a straight line. There will be days when you feel fine and days when you want to pick up the phone again. In those moments, come back to this video, read the comments from people who are fighting just like you. You are not alone on this path. If today's content helped you feel a little lighter, please let me know by leaving a dot or sharing your story in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, as we will meet again on many more journeys of exploring the mind and healing the soul. Thank you for being here, for listening, and for having the courage to begin to change. See you in the next videos, where we will learn together how to truly love ourselves. And now, turn off the screen. The real world is waiting for you, and you are waiting for yourself to return.